So my BF, 35M, and I, 34F, were together for years and apart for 3, and recently back together. We both are recovering drug addicts and we used together on and off for those 4 years. We technically never broke up. We were sent to different rehabs by our families and lost contact. He was at a strict one that wouldn't allow phones for over a year, and at the time we were sharing a phone, and I had it when we were separated. Well, while I was in detox, my roommate had stolen my phone. She knew the passcode because I would let her use it so she wouldn't tell on me for having it. When I returned from detox and realized my phone was gone, I just bought another one and had to get another number. I had no idea where he was, but I was under the impression he knew what rehab I was at because it was the same one I had been before. After the dust settled, I was absolutely devastated to be without him. I just knew in my heart he was going to show up one day. I just knew he was going to find me. He had done it before. Well, I waited 1 year exactly before I moved on. And I was at a co-ed program and constantly around some great people, but I held strong and refused to date anyone, thinking we would be back together soon. He never showed, and almost 3 years later, I was randomly checking my friend requests and saw he had created a new profile and added me 6 months prior. I immediately accepted and sent him a message. When he read it, he immediately called me. He came over that very day. He was living 15 miles away and was in a relationship. Either way, he still came by, and we caught up, and we ended up kissing. Nothing more, but I still felt shitty about it. I figured he would leave her honestly, but he didn't because I was still using and he had been clean the entire time. I completely understood, and I didn't want him to be enticed or triggered by being around me, so I cut contact. About a month or 2 later, he messages me out the blue claiming he doesn't have a GF anymore and wanted to see me. I was honest with him about my usage, and he didn't care. I soon quit because it wasn't fair to him, and I love this man more than anything. He's literally my favorite person in the entire world, and I would do anything for him. Anything. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I detoxed alone at my house with no support. Around this time, his behavior changed. He went from being at my house constantly if he wasn't at work to all of a sudden staying at his house all the time and not talking to me when he was home. I knew something was off. I felt it in my gut constantly. He finally confessed that he had been talking to his ex again. He had thought I was lying to him about quitting, claiming he didn't think I had actually detoxed alone at home like that. Well, I lost my shit and went FKN nuts. Like nuts. I'll admit I did, and said some crazy-ass shit. My brain was spiraling constantly from quitting, and I was always alone with no one to talk to, so I had convinced myself all of these things that weren't necessarily true, and I ran with them. It was bad. He ended up blocking me on everything for like a week. During that week, I had what is referred to as a spiritual awakening in AA. Everything changed. I felt peace I had never felt before. All my crazy thoughts were gone. I messaged him from a throwaway number and told him I hoped we could still be friends, but I understood if he didn't want to, and that I hope everything worked out for him. He called me that day, and I told him how I had changed and how I was happy. We talked for a few days before he came over, and he hasn't really left since that day except to go to work. I recently found out that she had been talking to his best friend, and he found out about it right before he started coming back over. Now I feel like I'm the rebound, and I'm super self-conscious about it. So I asked him the other day if he had talked to her. He said he had only talked to her 1 time since he started coming over here, but he didn't respond to her. He said he initiated the conversation, but he didn't respond after she replied. I didn't necessarily believe him, so I looked in his phone, and he was telling the truth. But I did see that he was telling her that he loved her and that he wanted to have sex with her the day before he unblocked me. I know this is a FKN lot of info, but I do believe he loves me, but I don't know if I can trust him. AITAH for looking in his phone and finding out he wasn't lying?